flyer that we're doing. Everybody, please take it. Take a bunch, give it to your neighbors. This is the flyer that explains our solar home security lights, free to all residents. You gotta bring ID with you. You bring an ID. When you fill out this form, you bring it in, they check your ID. You're gonna get a ticket. Okay? Then when we start, you bring your ticket in, you hand it in, you get a solar light. Free. It's for all residents, homeowners of this neighborhood. So we're gonna make sure that you live in this neighborhood. So take as many forms as you want. I'm gonna pass them out, you can fill them out. We have sign-in from 5:30 to 6:30, Monday, next Monday. We're gonna pass out the lights. So when you come in, the forms fill out, you come in, we check your ID, give you a ticket, then after, you can get a light. Senator Robart will be here. He won't be here till about 6:30. I know he's gotta go to Albany, so he's gonna be here a short time. So we're gonna do the form and the ticket, and with ID, please. Everybody understand? Any questions?
So what if somebody doesn't get their form filled out today?
No, not today. We're giving you out now, so we got a whole week. Bring it in next
Bring it in
Monday.
next Monday.
Next Monday. That way you can have a chance to
So
fill them
give some to
out,
the neighbors.
give it to your neighbors, give it to anybody you want, you know. So that way they have time, a whole week
Right,
to fill
yeah,
them
that's
out.
good.
Okay? So no problem. Before you leave, I give them out. Take as many as you want. I made 200 of them. We got 140 lights, that's all, right now, until we get some more money. But that's the light program we just wanted to get out of the way. I want to have, yes,
Is it one light?
yes, one light for free. That's how the form is. We're going to do two, but we didn't have enough money because they raised the price when we went to buy them.
Oh, wow.
And we even said, non-for-profit, we want to buy like 300 to 400 of them, and they jacked it double. So, Lieutenant, Captain, you want to go on first? So we can get you out of the
Kevin's
way?
pulling in right now and he's got all our stuff. So give us like.
Okay, library done.
Yeah, I don't know if I can take a minute, sorry, but a bunch of you probably saw when you came in, we have
Could you go to the
surveys.
front,
Yeah.
please?
Right here. We have surveys from the library. We brought in a consulting group from Brooklyn called Hester Street that's just working with us to find out what we're doing well, what we're doing not so well, what we could improve on to meet the community needs a little bit better. So there's a bunch in the back. If you didn't get one and would like one, raise your hand, let me know, I'll bring you one. You can either give them to me, you can drop them off at the circulation desk, whenever you like, but if you have a chance just to give us some input, we would really appreciate it.
Very good. Does everybody have a form? Remember, if you want one, she will give them to you. Sure.
And we have by our serve desk in a little box, and you guys get a free hold card for, I forget how many free holds for doing it.
No,
And
see
we're
that?
also online on our computers in English and Spanish.
Okay, you want to do your presentation or not yet?
Not quite set up.
Okay, waiting for the police yet?
Yeah, I'm gonna speak before that.
Okay, sure. Wait, thanks, go ahead.
I just basically who all in here did the clean sweep? Just one person did the clean sweep? Well, I wanted to thank everyone that actually did the clean sweep. I wanted to let you guys know that it actually, it went really well. We had over 3,000 volunteers that actually came out and volunteered for the clean sweep. So I wanted to thank you and actually encourage some mini clean sweeps as well. I was going to actually speak about the TIPS event that's coming up, but I'm going to actually leave that to Lieutenant. So he's going to give you some information about the TIPS event. I think I heard someone in here say something about TIPS not too long ago when I first walked in. But he's actually going to talk about that. That has been planned. It is this month, so he'll give you a little bit more information about that. Thank you. I'm running. I have another meeting at Northwest Neighborhood Service Center at 6:30. So I'm gonna stick around for a couple minutes and then I'm gonna run out. So thank you.
Thank you.
I'll just piggyback off of that a little bit. The TIPS event for this month is the 31st at Jones Park. It's the 31st at Jones Park. There'll be all kinds of services available there and some vendors and stuff like that. We'll be going out canvassing the neighborhood and stuff like that. So I believe we go live at about 1:30 and go for about 3 or 4 hours. So Jones Park, if everybody knows where that is, that's the TIPS event on the 31st. We were a couple minutes late because we had to clear somebody off a corner down the street. That's why we were a couple minutes late.
Hey,
And
Mr. doesn't take it.
then I will turn it over to House Raki.
How's it going, everybody? Real quick, fortunately, or unfortunately, there wasn't a lot going on over the last month. One incident of note, without getting too in-depth with this, and you'll see where this is headed by the opening line. On April 23rd, a victim of a robbery posted a Facebook picture of herself holding over $6,000 that she just received from a settlement. So you can probably tell where this is going. Yeah, the long and short of it is she got set up then, a home invasion robbery occurred where they ended up grabbing quite a bit of that. So it was, she's a little bit questionable about who she hangs out with. Some of them are gang members. But no, don't put stuff like that on social media. Be very, very careful. Everybody sees it and they spread it around like wildfire. So nobody got hurt in that incident, which is thankful, for that. However, that's the lesson that to be learned from that. That's really it as far as the significant incidents. I do have some stats. We're holding our own in this neck of the woods regarding violent crimes. Everything seems to be either equal or down from last year to date, which is a pretty significant achievement. The weather is finally starting to break, and hopefully we can keep those numbers down as well. The only thing, actually those are actually down too. Larcenies are down, which is every other section, or every other community group that I've dealt with in the past month, larcenies have been up. So somebody's doing something right over here. You're probably locking your doors and keeping your valuables out of sight, which is a recommendation.
That's right, installing cameras.
Yeah, whatever you can do to minimize you being a victim we're all for it. But we are really, like I said, we're down in pretty much every category as far as crime goes. But that's really kind of all I have.
Questions?
Is there any information on the car accident that was on Sherman last 2 weeks ago?
It's an ongoing investigation at this point, so nothing that I could release to you.
ATVs and little motor scooters again. Running
That's actually, for Lake Section, the captain took it upon himself last year to make that one of our top priorities along with Lyle Avenue, which is our top priority for Lake Section. And we had a meeting a couple of weeks ago that involved all the upper staff with the police department, the chief, the deputy chiefs, they were all up there. And for Lake Section, that's our top priority. One of the locations within Lake Section, that's one of the issues with that location. So that's being dealt with as well as we can. As you know, if you're on social media at all, that goes all the way across the country. It's happening in every state all the way across the country. And it's a big YouTube thing, and they film themselves and throw it on YouTube, and Irondequoit's dealing with it, the town of Greece is dealing with it, and we're trying to work hand in hand with everybody to come up with the best way that we can address it. So we're working on it.
They've gone off of McNaughton, or off of Northampton, but they're headed down Otis, Sterling.
Right.
But it's
So-
7:30 in the morning.
No, I know, it's
5
at all
a.m.
hours, and trust me when I tell you, not only are we specifically with Lake Section dealing with it, the entire city is aware of it, the police department's aware of it, all the way up to City Hall. So it's an issue that is being dealt with as well as we can.
Do you have, I'm sorry.
I'll get to, go ahead.
Well, just on that, do you have data of how many accidents are caused and,
They're riding on the sidewalk.
coming in between cars?
Trust
I
me,
mean,
I'm well aware of that. I don't have any data that associates ATV driving and riding with accidents at this point.
Okay.
As that becomes available, I'll relay it.
I had one of them on a mini bike run into the back of my car today on Glide Street. When I put my car in park to get out, talk to him, he turned around and took off. They're doing tree work on Glide. So as I turned from Otis onto Clyde going south, cars had backed up at the stop sign, you had to sit and wait. And when I stopped, he wasn't paying attention, ran right into the back of my car.
Sure. Well, I'll tell you this, okay? For anybody who's got questions relating to the mini bikes or the ATVs, the best thing that you can do at this point for us is give us a call and let us know what you're seeing and where you're seeing it. Call me right at my office if you have to. Call 911 if it's something that's ongoing right at that time. The more information we get, the better off we are. Because as you know, at this point in time, we're certainly not going to get into a car chase with somebody on an ATV. But if we know the general area where they're hanging out, we can kind of focus on that area and try and find out where they are.
Lieutenant, excuse me, can you give your phone number?
Yes.
Maybe a lot of them would like to write it down.
Yeah, I don't have enough cards for everybody in here, but I think just about everybody has my card for the most part. There are a few new faces that I've seen. 428-9906 is my number. So again, if it's something that's ongoing or it needs immediate care, call 911. And then if it's something that needs follow-up later on or something that you want to relay to me, 428-9906.
Is there any, do you have any information on how to go about getting a speed bump? I live on Elston and we have that curve. We just had a family of like 6 boys move in and they're up and down the street. I mean, they're good kids, they're not hurting anything. The kids from the Cameron end are starting to all play together. But they play in the street because they have basically nowhere to go. So if somebody comes around that curve from Cameron at full speed and they don't see those kids, we're gonna have some injuries.
Reach out to me at my office. I'll come over and we'll take a look at it and I'll relay all the information. It's not something that we do, but I'll relay the information through the proper channels so it can be looked at. I can't promise you a speed bump, but they'll look at it and see if it's feasible.
Okay.
Audrey,
Andy.
wait a minute. Yeah.
The process for getting a speed bump is, first of all, you have to write a petition up and get 75% of the people on that stretch of the street that will be affected. That's the first process.
Okay.
Then it goes to the city, and then the county comes in, and they look at it, and they'll set up speeding stuff to make sure that it's, what you're saying is true, that there's all the stuff going on, that they're speeding when they're coming around the corner. And then if they say, yes, it is a legitimate concern, then they will put in the speed bump. Neither the lieutenant of the police department nor mayor's office can just put one in on demand.
Oh, no, I knew that.
There
I
is
just
that
wanted the
process.
procedure. So 75% of my street isn't gonna be that difficult.
Yes,
Right
ma'am.
there, see, you've got
What
it.
about these portable basketball courts? So last year, we had the problem, they came out, they took the court away.
Yeah.
You're back again, blocking the street, you can't go up and down the street. And I think last night was probably about 20 kids out there.
Call my office,
Okay.
okay? We'll come out, we'll warn them, we'll
Okay.
let them know, we'll put a sticker on it, and if they don't remove it, we'll take it.
Where do you live, ma'am?
Campton and Otis, I live right on the corner.
Okay.
They're between Otis and Virgin.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Audrey had a concern about the speed bumps over here.
Yeah, the humps aren't doing it. We're still getting an awful lot of cars going way too fast. I've even had buses way too fast and the garbage trucks
Straight?
right out here.
Okay.
They too low, I guess, right? or something?
Yeah, it's kind of low, and two, we get, I don't know if it's rentals, but they park on the speed bumps, and there's only like this much sticking out from the vehicle
Yeah.
when they're parked on it, so most people don't even see it.
I'll tell you what, right now, our speed trailer is tied up at another location, but once we pull it out of there and recharge it,
We had one here, and I never got results.
well, I'll put the speed trailer out and I'll get a hold of the traffic unit and see if they can come out and run a little special attention, maybe write a few tickets, and hopefully that'll help out.
Okay,
Fair enough?
thank you.
Question, it's that time of year when I'm hoping that the sound I'm hearing is fireworks, even though I don't want fireworks. Are fireworks legal in the city of Rochester?
No.
Okay, if we hear fireworks, should we call 911?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely, because they might not be fireworks
Right.
as well.
Right.
So yeah, definitely call.
Okay.
Anyone else? All right, have a good night.
Before you go, I have a gentleman. Sir, would you like to speak a couple minutes?
Yeah, my name's Harry.
Police out here, so if there's any concerns. I'm from H&S Motors on Whitney Street. I was under the understanding that there was some questions about business or activity on Whitney Street. And I just wanted to come here and see if I could answer any questions for you or clarify anything about me and my business that's been there for 20-something years, family owned.
They hit a couple bodies, I guess, that was there?
Yeah, my security systems have solved 2 murders, but I heard that there's been accusations of like negative activity coming out of my car lot. There's 2 car lots all bumped together there. I'm in the middle, and I just wanted to make sure that we clear, that everybody has the right idea that it's not just one big car lot on the corner. There's 3 car lots total.
Where's this again?
On Whitney Street off Lyle Avenue.
And you said he usually checks it and he's got cameras going on for security.
And I
wanted to know from you guys, anything?
The city police, they come there and they're the ones who use my security system for their different issues that go on the street.
Okay, was there something brought up at a meeting after we left?
No, not here.
My understanding was in past here that there was accusations about not being a car dealer, being a front, selling dope out of there.
I would say if that was accurate, you would have seen us over at your place.
Mm-hmm.
So unless somebody else has something to add to that, I don't think that's an issue.
Just wanted to put my face there. Anyone's welcome to stop in for a cup of coffee anytime. Stop in, say hi.
No, I like that you came because that way everybody would know, you know, what you're doing, and if there was a complaint, you would know, sir.
You know, I remember hearing something last time. Somebody was complaining about tires being dumped around the area. Do you all deal in used tires?
Do not.
Okay.
They're dumping them on my yard.
Yeah, that's something that we're dealing with. It's happening in a lot of the vacant lots as well, and some of the alleyways. So that's something that we're actively dealing with. Did you have anything you wanted to throw in,
Yeah,
Cap?
a couple quick points. So I guess the good news is most of the concerns that were raised today were a nuisance and not violent crime, right?
Yes.
And so, you know, we're happy about that. We've, like Lieutenant Muir said, had some preliminary meetings with my command staff, Lake Section has, on what our priorities are gonna be. As you know, in the past, violent crime would be #1. Luckily, that's kind of pendulum swung to the east side for now, and we're happy about that. So we have more opportunity to address some of these nuisance type activities. With that being said, we have to be realistic with the motorcycles and the ATVs and the mini bikes. We're not gonna stop everyone. I just had a guy do a wheelie past me right by my police car. We're not going to stop everyone, but what you guys can do that will extremely help us with the enforcement aspect of it is be our eyes and ears. Like Lieutenant Muir said, any intelligent, we don't want you to confront the people, certainly. But if you have security cameras that capture photos, or you can grab a photo, not walk up to them and snap a photo with your phone, but if you can get a photo or a plate number or a description, that will assist us greatly with that. Northampton was raised. That's the focal point of some of the nuisance regarding these motorcycles and mini bikes. If another address pops up that you see them going to or in the garage, let us know about that, because there's things we can follow up with that aspect of it. We're also in the position, we're trying to fill the position of our task force. We had a one-man task force last year that kind of coordinated all the information citywide. He's an investigator. He just retired, so we're in the process of filling that spot with another investigator. Sole purpose for the mini bikes and the ATVs. So stay tuned for that. I know John Lyle Avenue's, with the warm weathers, it's starting to heat up as far as prostitution and John activity. That's certainly on our radar as well. The last month has been difficult for us, quite honestly, to run details because the department has certain training requirements each year where officers have to get recertified in X, Y, and Z. They cram that all in just before the summer hits. So staffing's usually not great in early spring. We're coming around now. We have some new officers on that are at field training right now, so you may see some new folks out there. So we'll get back to our details that we'll be running. one sec, man, I'll get you a question. The other thing I wanted to say was, last Tuesday, you may have seen it on the news, our lake section and the other sections in the department had our annual awards dinner, the RPD awards dinner. I'm happy to report that 7 out of 12 months, lake section officers were awarded Officer of the Month for last year. So a tremendous amount of work there. We also got Civilian of the Year with Bob Stevenson and Investigator of the Year with Investigator Bobby O'Shaughnessy. So we cleaned up. And thank Molly, she was there supporting the folks and
Captain Deerkopf was up and down, off and off the stage about 12 times.
yeah, got my exercise that night, but.
We had a couple questions, then,
Yeah.
lady.
I noticed that you had the bicycle patrol out today. Are you gonna have it more now with the warm weather?
Yes, great question. Again, that's kind of staffing dependent, resource dependent. If we can get them out, including
Yeah.
myself, we'll
Yeah.
be out there. It's in our plan. When we have the resources to do it, we'll take advantage of it, especially with the weather. Right now, we're kind of, as you folks know, we're kind of gearing up for next weekend. It's a big weekend in Lake Section with Memorial Day. So we'll be putting a lot of resources up there Friday through the Memorial Day weekend. That's our one big event for the summer, so we'll have a good showing up there.
Just want to know what the current status of the PAC program is for our area. I don't see anybody, I haven't seen anybody. I didn't expect to see anybody during the winter months, but do we have it now? And if so, where is it at?
To be honest, ma'am, the status, the PAC program is pretty, it really doesn't exist. We don't really have any anymore. Kevin's our PAC coordinator. Every meeting, we bring flyers, information, we ask for volunteers. I don't think we've gotten any volunteers in the last 2 years.
On the city website, you can go to the PAC.
Now, is it just for our area that there's no PAC? Because I see them in other sections of the city.
The only real active PAC program now that I'm aware of is Cornhill. That's really about it. If anyone's interested, we certainly encourage it. Kevin's the lead training. He can give you all the information you want. We encourage folks to do it. It's what you want to make it. You can walk 5 minutes. You can walk an hour. You can walk once a month. You can walk once a week. You can walk 5 days a week. It's really whatever you want to make it. So if anyone's interested in that, Kevin can get together with you.
Actually, Captain, Wadsworth Square, their PAC is active.
Good. That's two.
Yes, ma'am.
I was reluctant to say this, but I'm gonna say it anyway, because I've been corresponding with some of my neighbors. We've seen activity, of drug activity, near Waldo, and they're thinking that it's a house there. When I started coming back to this meeting.
I'm familiar.
Yeah, I came back talking about the loud music, and if everybody here remember that, I didn't come in the door saying there was a reason for the loud music, but I knew something was going on. I wasn't sure what it was, because it was all day and all night, and it's still doing that. And then my neighbors started telling me about drug activity and the possibility of a house being in our area, and we're concerned. So is that something that you guys already know about? Is that something that?
Yeah, I'd rather not go into details,
Okay.
obviously, but
That's
yeah,
what I was
we're
reluctant
fully
to
aware of it
Okay,
and dealing with it.
okay, thank you.
I just wanted to say, I have the 400 block of Lyle, we have a lot of problems there, it's not, I've been communicating with everybody, with the proper people, and I'm going to I've already talked to some merchants through there, so I'm gonna try and meet with them, and then we come up with some other solutions.
Great, any help's appreciated.
Yeah.
Thanks, John. Anybody else?
Have you met the new people who will have the new convenience store on Lyle up there by the firehouse?
I believe Roy Aduclo went into that store.
Yeah, I
Officer
think it's
Aduclo.
Yancey's.
I don't know the name, but Roy's been in there.
But we went in there and we really liked their food. We talked to the young lady and she was very adamant that the owner has said there will be no cigarettes sold, no alcohol, what else? And no hot food. So he's gonna deal with EBT, and they were real matter-of-factly that they weren't gonna be doing the problems. They want to be around this neighborhood for a very, very long time.
Excellent.
If you get a chance to go in there and just say hello, their sandwiches are really, their deli sandwiches are really, really good.
Now, that's the second time I've heard you say that, so I might have to try it. Yes, ma'am.
And they like got 4 or 5 different kinds of hams and everything, but just the fact that they don't want to sell Lucy's and all those things that we have been, you know,
Sure.
complaining about.
Kim, what's the location again of this store?
It's kitty corner from Engine 5. It's next to the smoke shop on the corner of Child and it's just a really nice place.
You could probably just go to Engine 5 and they'll get you a sandwich too. Just throwing that out there.
It was maybe a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, the northwest area was down about 31 officers, and I wondered after the new recruits have, you know, gotten acclimated and deployed, what is our current level? Are we still short officers covering the beat?
We are not short,
Excellent.
but.
But?
It always comes with a but. The department averages about 25 retirements a year. This year, we're looking at 40. So, and no one knows why, you know, it's just one of those years. On top of that, as some of you may or may not know, we're out of contract right now. So that could also affect additional retirements. There is a recruit class in now. I can tell you it's not enough to cover all the vacancies. Now, we don't know how they're gonna spread out yet. Now, Lake Section's fine now, but eventually, there's gonna be vacancies that have to be filled, and people could leave Lake Section, go fill vacancies elsewhere, and there's no backfill. So that probably won't happen till August-ish. So it'll get us through the bulk of the summer. The captains, the section captains have a meeting with the chief on Friday to discuss the budget and what our police budget's gonna look like. As you know, July 1st starts the new fiscal year. We'll have kind of a better idea how many officers, if any, will be hiring in 2018 fiscal year, 2018, 2019. So stay tuned for that. Right now, though, we're good.
Do you have like recruitment flyers that you're actively going to, you know, the high schools to get them into the program, like at MCC or, you know, wherever the feeder locations are?
Yeah, we're always looking for good qualified candidates. We have, and I don't think he's stopped in yet, but he will. Deputy Chief Laron Singletary was a former CPO. Now he's kind of heading up the social media and the recruitment and the community engagement aspect of that. And he's doing a lot of work with that. So they're really out there.
I've also heard some advertisement on the radio
Yeah, sure.
saying that they're promoting to go down there and take your test.
But again, we could always use good qualified applicants.
When you say qualified applicants,
Yeah.
can they have any trouble in their past? Like, how far in past? I'm wondering, is it possible to kind of get people who might have been swayed by drugs, gangs, etc., they want to belong, they want to do something, they've got some sort of a get up and go, I mean, to be standing on a corner, to do all these things that are illegal, if we could refocus it into something good. I mean, if they're from the neighborhood, they know the people, get them into something positive. Is that a possibility? Like, you know, with, I don't know, sealed records or, you know, juvenile, they were someone else then, now they're older and wiser. Is it possible? I have hope for people, that's all I'm saying.
That's a difficult question.
Okay.
The hiring process is quite extensive.
Okay.
It involves a thorough background check, certainly a criminal history check, certainly a test, There's a physical aspect of it, there's a psychological aspect of it, there's a polygraph test they have to examine. Now, that being said, we know no one's perfect.
Right.
You know, everyone has made some mistakes growing up. Generally speaking, though, one of the biggest automatic disqualifications is drug use and a felony conviction.
But not a misdemeanor.
Not necessarily a misdemeanor.
I say that not knowing what a misdemeanor
Right,
would be, but
right.
I'm just, yeah,
But
I know it's a
generally
different
speaking,
one.
and we could talk forever
Yeah.
about this, but generally speaking, certain drugs and a felony conviction will usually bounce you. Now, here's another one that's been difficult for us to overcome in some circumstances is tattoos. We have a very,
Oh, that limits a lot.
it's not a no tattoo policy, but it depends where they are. Like hands is automatic disqualification. Any tattoos on your hands, neck, face, correct. Arms, as long as the tattoos aren't, you know, something of bad taste, we know what those are.
What about prescription drugs?
You're asking if you took prescription drugs?
I mean, a lot of people get, messed up on,
Right.
you know.
Well, that's a good question, ma'am. It would have to depend. I mean, they would look at each situation individually and.
Yeah, Pam, if you know anybody who's interested at all,
Well,
the
we
best
have-
thing they can do is call the recruitment department and they'd be able to walk them right through the process.
Well, because we have Pathways to Peace and,
Right.
and different things like that, if we could rescue people before they get entrenched,
Right.
And have them do something good for the community instead of being the bane of the community.
Sure.
Okay, but I hate to say this, but we're running out of time. And I got a lot
And
of stuff.
I got one more question for the officers,
Yes,
if possible.
please.
Is there anything we can do as a community to give you guys a little more help? As in, you guys arrest, I know some bad arrests that go down. This guy carrying a gun, this guy dealing drugs, and he's out. Tomorrow, we're watching him back on the streets doing it again. So obviously, you don't have enough backup to keep these guys in when you do get them. They're shooting police officers like it's okay, and yet they're out walking the neighborhood not long after they do that.
Right.
So there's a problem. You guys are doing a fine job, and it doesn't seem like the criminals that are getting busted are staying in jail where they belong. Is there a petition or something that the neighborhood can sign? Is there anybody that we can send petitions to or anything to help you guys out as far as that goes? How do you keep these?
I would venture to bet that Molly would have a good answer for that.
Wow. I wasn't expecting that.
Sorry, Molly.
Well, certainly, as the captain mentioned, the budget time is right around the corner, and hopefully the police department will not be impacted by that, because these retirements and the recruitment class, those are really important things. We need to be at full
And that's fine,
strength
but
here.
we've had
so-
a couple, 2 or 3 cops in the last, we'll say 5 years, get shot, and it's like it's no big deal to hell with it.
Well-
They're shooting cops like it's
I
okay.
know, that's right.
That's awful gutsy.
Yes,
I would think for a criminal of any
thankfully, it does
sort.
not happen that often, but, we talked about PACTAC, that is certainly one way that people can support the police. But it's a commitment, so people have to be willing to make that commitment. But, I think, to the degree that we can support our officers in our lake section here, we should do that, so specifically.
I did want to say, we got new recruits on Lyle, Sheridan and Mercado.
Yes.
I talked to them.
They're not new guys, but yes.
They're fabulous,
Yes.
so we got some good ones.
Let me just close this out real quick. To help the police department, the more information we get regarding anything, that helps us. As far as keeping people in jail, that goes right up the chain for legislature, and that reach out to your government folks.
Yeah, right.
All right,
Mark,
so
we do have a court watch program, which is also effective, that we need volunteers, so we make an arrest a significant arrest in your neighborhood, that if we have residents that sign up and are willing to go to the court proceedings, we can give you guys information on that, if that's something you're interested in.
great. If that's something you're interested in, reach out to me. I coordinate that through my office, so if anybody's interested in it's a commitment. It's gonna take some time, and it's a lot of work, but if you're interested in that, that helps us out, because we follow those arrests all the way through to completion. So we're not gonna take up any more time because
We have
this
a
is not our meeting, so.
big program to
Thank
go
you very
on.
much. We'll
Thank
be
you.
back next week, and if you have questions, you can, or next month, if you
Yes.
have questions, reach out to me at my office.
And I think PCIC is tomorrow night, so if you have additional questions.
PCIC tomorrow night at Aquinas, and I'll be there, so.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Thank you, sir.
The library's gonna go out for a couple minutes, but before that, Pat, can I have your attention for a minute? Pat Jackson is here from Senator Robart's office. She attends all the meeting. Would you like to say a couple words or not?
Just that the Senator Roebuck is looking forward to coming next Monday.
Right, thank you.
Thank you,
Molly,
Pat.
can you come up for 2 minutes with me?
You know what, I'd like to go later, but
No,
we've got camera.
I don't want you to talk, just with me for 2 minutes.
Oh, with you.
For 2 minutes.
That I can, yes.
Before we do the library, then after that, Cameron Ministry here, because last month we had a big discussion about all the problems they brought up about Cameron Ministry and the zoning and that. So they're gonna do a whole presentation here. Myself and Molly was on the talk radio show Friday, and it was targeted on Lyle Avenue about the prostitution, how we could change the image of Lyle Avenue. And the first thing is, when we say Lyle Avenue, what do you think of?
Hookers.
Hawkers.
That's the first thing the radio guy said. He broadcasts, he says, if I say Lyle Avenue, what does the listeners think of? And that's what it came back at. But we did a presentation, we had Sheriff Todd Baxter was with us, talk about the cocaine and the drug stuff, talk about all the details.
Yeah, he was great.
He was with me 30 years ago when we started this details on the Johns and that. We had a call in, we arrested probably over 2,000 Johns, over. Where do they come from?
Lyle Avenue.
No.
Suburbia.
That's right.
Yeah.
Most of them came from suburbia. They couldn't believe it on the radio thing. They thought it was right here
No.
at the city people.
Shy
Pittsburgh.
Then we brought up, should we make it legal? When I was on.
We didn't bring that up.
No.
He brought that up. Just-
Yes, 20 years ago when I was on talk radio shows all over, okay? Everybody would call in and say, make it legal, make it legal. I said, okay, let's go to Fairport, Perrington. Let's go there and we make it legal. Millions of cars came back. Not in our backyard. Leave me alone. Do it in the city only.
No, no.
I just want to tell you, we did a radio show. Anything
Yes.
you want?
No, it was promoting the forum on June 1st, and I handed out some flyers. There are more flyers at the desk. So we really want to get good turnout from residents and people in the neighborhood because obviously, who knows it better than you guys? Nobody. So really hope to have you there. On June
Thank
1st.
you.
Okay, thank you, Mike. That was.
Library, all set.
I need to get one of those.
All right, I have something really important to talk about. I want to just mention a few other things really briefly to get them out of the way that are not related. Our Lyle Branch monthly schedule of events, the adult and teen is on the back. Gives the wrong date. Eric was not here from Dream Bikes. He will be here next week. I have a separate flyer for that. He will be outside, weather permitting. And then the solar light distribution will be happening as well, just after he's here, or maybe it'll overlap. I also wanted to bring to everyone's attention LROC, Library Resource Outreach Center, if no one's familiar with that. I just went to a presentation Monday night. They do incredible work. They're here the second Friday of the month, and they're at the downtown library and other branches. They're social workers who volunteer their time and do everything related to housing, food, clothing, shelter, income, case management, medical care, legal assistance, employment. They're incredible, run by incredible people. They do legal services Friday at the downtown library, so I have these to pass around if anyone wants to know more about them.
Do they have to make an appointment to?
They can if they want to. It's on the flyer. And Sarah, you could probably talk more about it, but I was just blown away by the presentation. So libraries and public health. Also, I have a senior yoga class happening next Monday from, well, anyone who's interested really, sorry, it's a chair yoga class, 12 to 1. Didn't mean to say seniors, but if you don't mind being in a chair. So these are extra flyers, they're also out in the library.
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah, and sorry, I meant to pass these out. If anyone wants a reminder, because again, it's wrong, printed wrong on our schedule. Okay, so the main reason I'm up here tonight is I found out about an organization a few years ago, and my husband and daughter volunteered there. It's called Flower City Pickers. Has anyone heard of them before? And they volunteered there a few times. And what they are is a totally volunteer-run organization, and they distribute donated produce at the public market. So I said, great, you know, my other degree, I have a grad degree in nutrition policy, as well as library science, so I have a passion for food justice. And anyway, so I was thinking, you know, that would be really cool to be able to bring donated produce here to the library. And I figured, okay, Saturdays I'm working here, I'm gonna bring the produce on my way in at 9:30, open the library, you know, open the library up at 11, I get here at 10, get it all set up, boom, we'll be all set. The problem is, I talked to the folks further, they only get to the public market in the afternoon once the vendors are willing to donate the produce. So I need to rely on you guys, on the neighborhood volunteers, and I checked with Joan Lee, who's the head of half of the city library branches. She's willing to have us be a co-sponsor, but not the main organization that runs this. I'm willing to stay here on Saturdays when I'm scheduled at the library, every time I'm scheduled, which is roughly twice a month or once a month, to volunteer after the library is officially closed. No one would be able to enter the library itself. We could meet here, do the distribution, outside the library, nice weather, do the distribution, and I'm happy to stay here as a volunteer and help do the distribution. The problem is with the hours, the produce is available at 2:30 or 3 o'clock. I would need you all, anyone who's willing to step up, who has a car, has access to transportation, to bring the produce here, and it also includes bread. And it's something that can't be stored, that's another thing. It's just meant for distribution that day. So I have a 5-minute award-winning video that explains kind of what they do, that's on their website, that Pam has so nicely queued up for me. And it's just, I went to their Flower City Pickers Facebook page, and they had a link to their website, and then there's more information about what they do and who they are. But would you guys like to see this to get a little bit of an idea if you'd like to buy in and do this?
Sure.
Cool, because I think that'd be great for the neighborhood. All right, so let's check it out. It's just 5 minutes, and then we can have maybe a discussion. I have a sign-up sheet. If you want to volunteer, it says, please indicate if you're available to pick up the produce from Flower City Pickers at the public market, so you do a P, or D, if you'd like to distribute the produce here to help in that volunteer effort for interested community members along with the hours indicated. So I have a little key there. Your name, phone number, and email are best way to reach you. And I have here, produce can be picked up from Flower City Pickers 2:30 to 3 o'clock. Sorry. Produce distribution would take place at 3 o'clock or roughly thereafter. Dates and times when you are available. TH would be Thursdays and or Saturdays. We can't have, Flower City Pickers is at the public market days. The public market's open Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. We can't have the program here Tuesdays because we have task classes in the afternoon. Thursdays, Pat is very open to that, although I am not scheduled here because I'm part-time. So it would have to be kind of without me, unfortunately, you know, unless I'm able to come volunteer, and might be able to do that to help out. Saturdays, I'm more than willing. Days I'm scheduled here, we can hold the program. I generally know my schedule a few weeks ahead of the following month. So would have to be on that kind of basis where I could send an email out to let you guys know what the weeks would be, see who's available, see who's willing to be a regular volunteer.
It'd be nice if we can get a truck, that way,
Jennifer, what kind of?
we can send one truck down to pick it up and
What
come
kind of
back.
identification do the people that's picking up at the public market need to present to show that they are representing?
They haven't indicated they would need anything. And I tried to have folks from, two representatives from Flower City Pickers come tonight. One is in Italy, and the other was unavailable. I don't know why. So, but I'm sure they'd come to the next LONA meeting as long as they're available. But they're great people. I just met one of them at a recent workshop, was totally blown away by what they do, and you know, was really excited to hopefully get this here for our neighborhood. All right, so let's check out what they do and see if you guys would like to have this here, or bring this here. All the way up. Oh, sorry. Our connectivity isn't great, so you guys can always go to the website if I can't get it working. Yeah, and understand our connectivity is not great in this room. Yeah.
Can we find it online?
Yes, it's just on Flower City Pickers, on their website, and I got it from their Facebook page, so that's definitely something that you guys can do, and again, it's 5 minutes long. Would we prefer to just have like kind of a discussion with questions, thoughts, how you think this could work, might not work,
Yes.
you know?
So it's a table that you put outside of the library where people can come pick up?
Well, I think in good weather, we could definitely do this outside. I've had some initial discussion with Pam, about this, but we're just kind of looking for feedback and interest. And again, I can't be the main point person because I'm not allowed to be. I can help as a volunteer, and the library can co-sponsor it, but it really has to be kind of a LONA sponsored thing according to Joan Lee. But I'm really happy to be a part of it as a volunteer if we can do this. I don't know, maybe we shouldn't bother, but it's cool. It's just 5 minutes and it explains what they do and how they do it.
I think you should do a trial run to see if there is an interest, because you need a lot of people to get it and then be here to help distribute. It has to be organized, it has to be, a positive. So I say suggest maybe once or twice, trial run it and see, and then get the feedback, yes, no.
Yeah. And another thought that Pat had before I came in here was scheduling me on a certain Saturday every month, like say the second Saturday of the month, or something that's regular and everyone knows and it's easier.
I think once a month on a Saturday would be fine.
And Joan Lee thought it'd be better if it was every week, but just for consistency, so people would remember.
Well,
But
it depends on the demand.
Yes.
Okay, we don't wanna close the door if it shows up a lot of people coming out.
And
If we can get the kind of demand like with the food giveaway we did at the fire department, you'll never be throwing anything out.
Yeah, and although again I'm not
Well, it
officially
depends on
scheduled.
how much food they give us.
Right,
It depends on the time of the month too.
Yeah.
Because you have a lot of
Yeah,
people
I
that
mean, we're
run
going
out
into
at
the
a certain time.
Yeah, we're going into the summer, so hopefully that'll be good. But Thursdays, Pat was open to having us here regularly. Again, I'm not scheduled here, but maybe I can come in as a volunteer to help. But our meeting room's available, but there's also outside as well. So sorry.
Will there be any ID or income?
No.
Oh, no.
No, not at all. Nope.
Because I help hand out food at a church down the street.
Nope.
No.
None of that.
Oh,
And,
wow.
and they again.
We get them coming from the corner stores, loading up on the bread, the bagels, and taking it back to the store and selling it.
Oh, no. This is for residents. This is not for stores.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, no.
People come in like escalators to pick up their free food.
I agree with her because I've seen people standing in line at one place, and then 5-10 minutes later, you see them down the road at another place, and you go, ha, we're scamming the neighborhood because we don't even live here.
But you should be a part of, shouldn't that be a part of the new initiative? Well, it's not new. The Rochester Area Initiative Against Poverty, they built a database that actually shows when people go to different places. So if you're not a part of that database, I'm a part of that committee, you should be a part of that database.
Yeah, but you don't have to sign up for it. I hand out food. And I had a woman last week, she's from Clifford. She lives on Clifford and comes over.
I gotta tell you, when we do our food giveaways, we feed about 1,000 people at a time. Not that 1,000 people come in, but we write it down for Food Link, like how many seniors, how many adults, and how many kids are in the household. So it feeds about 1,000 people. We do not ask what your income is, any of that. We do take down, your address and name and for their background.
Well, we
but
give it to everybody.
yeah, we do not say, oh, you're from Henrietta, because we've had Henrietta. We don't say, oh, you're in Henrietta, you can't have this food. We give food. Hunger, it doesn't care what your zip code is. If you're there at a food giveaway, you're going to get food from us. We are not going to, but what you're saying is people are coming from a store and taking their pallet and taking it back to sell. No, this is for families, not stores.
And the thing is, we get the people that don't really need it either. And it's like, they got the nice car.
Exactly. We don't judge. We say, you're here, we have food, you're welcome.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, we have a woman that owns a double house, that rents it out, lives in Miami. Well, she moved to Miami now, but I mean,
I think what
God don't like ugly, it comes back.
For every one person that comes out of the neighborhood, there might be a chance, like say, for the picker stuff, for every one person that comes out of the neighborhood and takes an abundance for like maybe 3 or 4 or 5 people in a house, you're taking it away from somebody in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So we have to decide neighborhood first, keep doing the way we do it because we don't want anybody to go hungry, but you gotta look at how many people from out of the neighborhood are taking away from those here in the neighborhood.
Now, we have a guy in the neighborhood that came today, and he lives over off Blythe. But he owns a storefront over in Greece. And he came and loaded up a box, came back and got another box. But we can't say anything because it's free. You know, it's like the church gives it out.
But you're getting you're getting it for a family, you're writing that down?
No.
Well,
They
maybe
don't write any down.
that might stop it, because, we didn't have people, I don't think we had people scamming, we had people who were just, we were able to feed a lot of people, and.
Okay, wait, let's do
Yeah.
hands
Oh,
so
and
we can go on.
we partner with other neighborhoods.
Yes.
It's not, you have to be in Lyle
No.
Otis, and these are the lines, and
everybody.
that's it. No, we're part of Dutchtown, we're part of Josana, we're part of Edgerton. If
So
you're
a lot of
part,
people would be
if
doing
you're
it.
part of the human body
Oh, yeah.
of people in this community, have some food.
You had a question or
Well, it
something
also
to bring
depends
up?
on where the food comes from.
Right.
So you know that Cameron runs a soup kitchen, emergency food pantry, but if you are a partner of Food Link, where that food is coming from, they don't let you discriminate on where they're coming from, how many
Right.
people are in their family, what their zip code is.
Mhm.
We sign something as a member agency of Food Link saying, someone's hungry, they're gonna get fed.
Exactly.
So we have to keep that in mind.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
And I'm
Okay.
assuming that the food that we're gonna get is produce that really needs to be eaten right away.
Right away.
It's-
It can't be stored.
It can't be
Yeah.
stored, so, we're gonna throw it in the
And you don't know
garbage,
how
or we're
good
gonna
it's
give
gonna
it to
be.
someone to eat. You
Mhm.
pick what you wanna do with it.
I forget what they call it, but they separate it out into categories, and it would be the grade A, the highest
Mhm.
grade. And then the second grade goes to Food Not Bombs, and they prepare food at a soup kitchen for that night, and my husband and daughter volunteered with them, and my suggestion. And then the third grade goes to animals or composting. So it's like, it's meant for human consumption, but there is no storage of it. It's just meant to be,
Right.
distributed that day. That's sort of the point. So it's, again, they wanted me to make sure to let you folks know that it's all volunteer run and that it's donated produce. And
Do they have any idea of how much food?
no, I mean, I would think there'd be more on Saturdays.
Yeah,
just
Saturday is
because the volume
beautiful.
is higher at the market then. And the
Saturday you
kids
go in, I
Fridays.
saw the truck, they busy. But you don't wanna get it, and then you come here and you only got a half a pickup truck.
Right,
Then you got 20 people, 30 people here waiting.
right. And the library, again, won't store it. It's just,
Right.
for
You gotta be
distribution
sure.
and going out that day. So,
Yeah,
Yes,
Yeah.
we should.
we might try.
Try
yeah,
it.
so there's 3 people who signed up on here and.
Well, they can get more just to talk.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
see.
And I'm not here every day, but, you can always mention that you're
Right.
interested in this. We'll have this hanging up behind the circulation desk if someone wants to come in and
Jennifer,
sign it.
what day are you thinking of starting it?
Well, if we did Saturdays, my schedule right now in June, I'm here on Saturday, June 2nd, and I'm here on Saturday, June 23rd. I'm open to those 2 Saturdays. The problem is someone needs to step up to the volunteer to bring the produce here. And I would arrange with the Flower City Pickers, so they knew who you were and that, what was
I'd
going on.
like to see if we can get a truck or volunteer, somebody with a truck.
Yeah,
Because you don't want 10 people trying to go up, trying to get the back seats in the truck.
yeah.
It'd be nice if we had one truck to go up there, load it up
Yeah.
and bring it in.
And again, they said that the produce would be available at 2:30 to 3 o'clock,
Right.
and then the library closes at 3. So the library would be officially closed, but I would be here in a volunteer capacity to help with,
Right.
setting it up and
And
help
have
with
tables
distribution.
outside just to put the food on.
Mhm. Yeah, outside or in here,
Right.
but, with help. we'll
Okay.
get up and
You mentioned the truck. Andy, is there, oh wait, Andy's gone.
Andy left us already.
Molly, is there a conversion van or like some sort of a van from the city that might be able to be donated? We'll put in the $5 of gas to go back and forth and,
Donated as in.
Hey, we're,
take
you know-
Ownership?
No, just to
No,
borrow.
pick up the
to use
food,
for the day.
put it
Yeah,
here
drive
and
it
bring
though.
it back to wherever.
I'm gonna say probably not only because of insurance and all
Right,
that.
liability.
Well,
Well, somebody else is already picking up in a truck.
Yeah, hopefully. there's-
And so maybe there could be some collaboration.
Right, that's what we have to look at.
Right.
Yeah, the way it's done right now,
What?
as far as I understand, it's volunteers, and the video shows this, if you look at it. Volunteers like my daughter and husband, we have a RAV4 is one of our cars, and, they loaded it up and brought it to shelter, and they also helped prepare food that, same day with Food Not Bombs, and served it. So,
Um,
go ahead.
every rec center in the city, I believe, has a van that takes kids from point A to point B. They certify a driver. Why not talk to Tina Langston over at Edgerton and say, hey, can we borrow the van once a month with the driver? That way, the driver.
That's what I said, once we get talking.
The driver is set up with, the driver is already certified by the by the city
Yes.
to be qualified to drive that van, and they're the only one that drives it, so.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
I mean, it would be maybe paying for that person, or they scheduled that day, or, you know, all those kinds of things too, but I'm happy to
Well, give us some
consider
free
any.
food, for God's sake.
Yeah.
We got to have food. Well, give us
Okay.
some
All possibilities.
Okay, we want to go on, because I want to get Cayman Ministry.
Sorry.
Then we want to pass out all this stuff about the lights, please. I want to have time before we get thrown out by the library. Okay. I don't know who was here last month. It was, the conversation came up about Cayman Ministry.